morning, I am C, and today I will be reviewing Innocent in Death by J.D. Robb. J.D. Robb, if you do not know, is Nora Roberts. It's a pen name. I don't know if that's the correct terminology, but it's a pen name for Nora Roberts. And I do not care for Nora Roberts' books at all. I love J.D. Robb's book. These names are very complicated. J.D. Robb writes futuristic thrillers. They're set in futuristic New York in 2060. Technology has not evolved to the point where people are flying around in hovercrafts. It's very similar to what it is today. Only phones, technology, security systems, computer systems have evolved. It's no invasion of personal rights. It's evolved in a very normal and natural manner. So far, this is the second J.D. Robb book I've read. They are all titled Something in Death. I don't remember what the first book was, but I believe all of them have the same main character, who's Eve Duncan. I'll make sure that's right. Eve Dallas. Sorry. Eve Dallas is a cop, a lieutenant. She is a homicide investigator. She is married to a billionaire, sexy, awesome husband. I am so in love with her husband. His name's Roarke. He used to be a criminal, so he has a bad boy element, and he helps her with a lot of her cases. So, typically I do not like when the same main character is used over and over again in books, but in this case, I love almost every character that flows through this series. They all work together in this great, witty manner. Eve, the lieutenant, is grouchy, grumpy, has no fashion sense. Is complaining most of the time, but she is so lovable. You love her through her tempers and her grouchiness. So that's the background on the series. That took 5 minutes. This book, the first 100 pages was a little slow. This book specifically is about a murder that occurs at a private school. It then triggers a set of events. The murdered individual is a teacher. He is seemingly perfect. There's really no motive. He's happily married, and the first 100 pages goes through an introduction of all the characters and talks about his murder, and it was a little slow for me. I kept reading because it was interesting enough to keep reading, but it was a little slow for me. Then it took off. It really did, and I loved this book. It's very interesting. Sorry about this bird barking at me. It was very interesting, complex. I pride myself on figuring out who the killer is, typically early on, and I was caught off guard. I did not see the ending of this book coming. It had a twist, what I consider a twist, and I loved it. It was very exciting, very intellectual, and very interesting. Apparently I only know words that start with I, so, and E. Vowels. So, I give this book an A. Only reason I don't give it an A+ is because I'm trying to reserve an A+ for books that come along once a millennium, but I would definitely recommend it, and I would recommend so far anything by J.D. Robb. The next book that I'm reading is Strangers in Death, so look for a review for that in the next upcoming weeks, and stay tuned. T will review this next. Thanks.
Hey, this is T, and today we are reviewing Innocent in Death by J.D. Robb. So J.D. Robb is another name for Nora Roberts. Nora Roberts I'm not crazy about. She actually usually writes romantic dramas. We know I don't like romance. But in this book, I really enjoyed her because the writing I felt was a little more, there was more depth to the writing than I felt in Nora Roberts' books. So I guess she's trying out a different writing style. This is her 22nd book in this series, which I had no idea about. I came in blind to it. The main character, Eve, who is a cop, I liked a lot. There are certain things that annoy me about her. For instance, it was very clear she didn't like girly stuff, makeup, And they mention it so many times. I was like, got it. She's not a girly girl. She just happens to look fabulous with no makeup and, sweatpants. Um, the other thing that the storyline was very good. I liked the main storyline that had to do with the murders and trying to find the killer. The secondary storyline, which is more on her personal life, to me got annoying just because her husband is perfect, absolutely perfect. Even though in this book an old ex-girlfriend comes back in the picture, he's still perfect. And he happens to be like a billionaire. Um, the other thing is she had very explicit sex scenes, which I really don't need to read about. And they seem to be, every time they fought, they made up with this monkey sex, and just wasn't my thing. But overall, I'm going to give it a B because I was very interested in the storyline. I enjoyed the writing. I wouldn't mind reading another one of hers. I'm not giving it an A because I was annoyed at times and literally fast forwarded through the sex scenes or the romance scenes. So overall, B for the storyline. I hope you enjoy the book and my sister's review. Thanks so much.